So let's start with the big story that we're tracking on WION at this hour, where the Russia-Ukraine war is now in its 5th month. The most intense war in Europe's history after the Second World War, with thousands of people having been killed and millions having been forced out of their homes. And the Russian president has got a new warning. Now, he said that his war is only beginning in earnest, and there is no dousing of tensions. So the question, of course, is, can the war in Ukraine enter into peace talks at this moment of time? On Thursday, the Russian President Vladimir Putin said that the West could try and defeat Russia on the battlefield. He also has accused the West of unleashing a war in Ukraine and has said that Russia's intervention in the pro-Western nation marks the beginning of a shift to a multipolar world. Now, Putin said that he is not rejecting peace negotiations, but has also warned that more the time it takes to start the talks, the harder it'll be for the Ukrainians to negotiate.
We are hearing that they want to defeat us on the battlefield. What can I say? Let them try. We have often heard that the West wants to fight us until the last Ukrainian. It's a tragedy for the Ukrainian people, but it looks like it's heading in that direction. But everybody should know that, largely speaking, we haven't yet started anything in earnest. At the same time, we don't refuse peace talks, but those who refuse should know that the longer it lasts, the more difficult it will be for them to make a deal with us.
Avril Haines, the US Director of National Intelligence, recently outlined 3 probable scenarios in Ukraine. In the first one, Russia's continuing progress in eastern Ukraine will break Ukrainians' will to fight and allow the Russian military to take over even more territory in the country. The outcome is Vladimir Putin's new goal after being defeated in his initial attempt to oust the Ukrainian government. In the second scenario, and the most likely one, Haines has said that Russia would dominate the east but would not be able to go much further. This, of course, is what the West is hoping for. The two countries will fall into a stalemate, which, according to Haines, is going to be a grinding struggle. In the third scenario, Ukraine will halt Russia's advance in the east and also succeed in launching counterattacks. Now, Ukraine has already regained some territory, especially in the southern part of the country, and some military experts are expecting a broader offensive soon. The world leaders on the sidelines of the G20 Foreign Ministers Summit are discussing the Ukraine war and food security with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. His meeting with the Indonesian leader met with anti-war slogans from the audience. Lavrov has blamed the West for diverting the aim of the G20 summit from economic problems to the war in Ukraine. And earlier, Lavrov said that he would not chase after the United States for talks, as his counterpart Antony Blinken declined to see him at a G20 summit. But even after this, Lavrov showed a positive side by accepting a possibility of negotiations with Ukraine. And Lavrov's statement of not running after his US counterpart means that Moscow wants the negotiations to be on equal terms and not be driven by any foreign influence.
Мы готовы к переговорам с нашими украинскими и турецкими коллегами. У нас есть все решения, о которых я только что упомянул. Украина должна, если речь об украинском зерне, она должна разблокировать свои порты, разминировать их или обеспечить безопасный проход через минные поля. А уже вне территориального моря Украины Россия и Турция готовы обеспечивать безопасность соответствующих судов и доводить их до проливов, и далее уже в Средиземное море они пойдут своим собственным ходом.
With the world leaders vowing to start a peace process in Ukraine and the world hoping for an initiation of peace negotiations, the key to all 3 negotiations is to ensure that all sides see a chance to make political and economic gains at different tables, while also creating some disincentives for prolonging the war. And the question, of course, is not whether to talk to the Russians or not. It's about what to talk to them about and when. And we earlier spoke with political scientist Umit Nazmi Hazir, who joined us live from Moscow, and this is what he had to say.
From my perspective, I think that the war will be not ending soon, because both sides, Ukraine and Russia, if we consider their statements, there is no positive signal according to peace talks. And according to statements of Putin and Lavrov, they accuse Ukraine of about peace talkings, because Lavrov, Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov, said that Ukraine refused to negotiate and refused peace talks due to military assistance from Western countries. And therefore, I think soon the war will not end. And what's more, almost 135 days have already passed since the war began. And still there are no negotiations, there are no contacts among Ukraine, among these two sides.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.